outrageous predictions. Ohio State ending its season in Dallas against Missouri in the Cotton Bowl, and the 11-1 Buckeyes facing the Tigers, who I think are 11-1 also, or 10-2. One of those two things. But either way, it's outrageous that I don't know that information, but it doesn't matter because we're going to give outrageous predictions right now for Ohio State's season-ending game. Nathan, we're going to let you go first here since you're down there in Dallas representing cleveland.com. What's your outrageous prediction for the bowl game?
Oh, thank you. Well, Missouri this year is a okay run defense. I think they ranked 45th in the nation, 3.87 yards per carry allowed. However, they're missing a couple defenders. They're missing their second leading tackler, Tyron Hopper, a linebacker. They're missing a cornerback, Ennis Rakestraw Jr., who's been a strong player for them this year. So a couple of guys in that run support who are missing. And I think TreyVeyon Henderson, talking to him yesterday, seems like a guy who is pretty committed right now, pretty motivated to have a strong game. He was playing so well down the stretch, did not play that well against Michigan, or at least it wasn't a productive game for him against Michigan. So I think he bounces back. I think he is the big performer. I know we're talking so much about, this is Emeka Buka's chance to step up, and Carnell Tate maybe in Marvin Harrison Jr.'s shoes, and it's the guy who's the most proven offensive player for Ohio State in this game is TreyVeyon Henderson, and I think he might carry the day. So I'm going to say 175 yards on the ground, just rushing, 175 yards and 2 touchdowns. And I was tempted to say 3, but when I kind of balanced it against the score that I'm predicting, thought maybe I should just hold it at 2. But 175 and 2 touchdowns. I think there's going to be some breakaway stuff in there. I think he's going to put some explosive plays out there, and I think ultimately he does come back to Ohio State, but I think it's going to get people pretty excited about what a full season of this version of TreyVeyon Henderson could look like.
So Nathan's going with the TreyVeyon Henderson in the run game. I'm going with Devin Brown, but it's not passing. The last time Ohio State had a quarterback have multiple rushing touchdowns in a game was Justin Fields against Michigan State in 2020. He had 2 in that game. When you remember, Nathan, they were missing a huge chunk of their offensive line because of COVID and a bunch of other pieces as well. Harry Miller was the starting center, and so it kind of just turned into like, Justin, just fix it. Just fix our problems. And he did. He fixed them on the ground in that game. It's actually one of 3 times in his career he had multiple rushing touchdowns. He also did it in 2019 against Cincinnati and Miami, and he also did it against Tennessee when he was with Georgia in 2018, but 3 times as a Buckeye. Listen, I mean, we've heard it for months now that one of the things that makes Devin Brown so dangerous is his ability to use his legs. And this is the first time I think we're going to see it in the way that they are actually intending it for it to be talked about, because he's not Justin Fields fast, but it kind of goes hand in hand with what you're talking about, Nathan. Ohio State hasn't had a run threat at quarterback like that consistently since Justin Fields. And if teams try to sell out on TreyVeyon Henderson, what if Devin Brown just keeps it? And it's not that many times, but it's enough times to keep guys honest or to catch Missouri slipping, and now it's a 15-yard touchdown, or now it's a 6-yard touchdown, or a random 35-yard touchdown. Who knows? But they'll come like that. Or maybe one comes on a scramble where nothing's open downfield, and he decides to take off, and then he gets into the end zone. I think this is a let-it-rip type of day for Devin Brown. But the way Devin Brown lets it rip, it's not the C.J. Stroud, let him sit back there and pick you apart, and then every so often Ryan Day's got to trust him to buy time with his legs. It's not the Justin Fields take off 20 times, let it rip. It's the be patient, see the field, make the right decisions, but when those moments show up where you got to go make a play, go make the play. So I don't know if he runs the ball more than 6 times in this game. But I think 2 of those 6 might just end up being in touchdowns because teams are so hell-bent on taking away TreyVeyon Henderson, who, when he's healthy, has shown us he can be one of the more explosive backs in the country. So I'm Devin Brown, 2 touchdown runs for the first time starting quarterback, first time since 2020 that a quarterback has had multiple rushing touchdowns in a game. Andrew, what's your outrageous prediction?
Yeah, we're all going to go offense here. I'm going to stick with the offense, but go receiver. We've talked a lot about Emeka Egbuka and what he's going to do and how big of a game this can be for him. This is a Carnell Tate game, I think. I think this is you guys have mentioned before that this is a chemistry thing with Devin Brown and with Carnell Tate, and there is a lot of built-up chemistry there. And you could point to previous games and say, wow, crazy that, Jackson Smith-Njigba came out of nowhere and did all that in the Rose Bowl. Well, he had a great game in the Rose Bowl, but go look at some of the game logs and go look at what he did against Michigan and Michigan State and Nebraska earlier in that year. He had a great game. So I'm going to say Carnell Tate goes for 10 catches, 175, and a score in this game. I think this is going to be a massive game for Carnell Tate. I think Missouri, if you're looking at a guy to shut down, it's going to be Emeka Egbuka. Steven's eyes are ready to fall out of his head. I think this is going to be a huge game for Carnell Tate, and this is going to be one of those games you've heard guys talk about it all year with Carnell Tate, that, man, this guy's good, and this guy's really good. Marvin Harrison Jr. was one of the guys who said that, and Marvin Harrison Jr., if you hadn't noticed, is pretty good himself. So I think Carnell Tate is going to flash. He's going to get a full-time role in this game, and I think there's going to be a lot of people who maybe don't follow Ohio State's program closely. I know you all do, that are listening to this, that are watching this, but there are going to be a lot of people nationally watching California and Texas, wherever, going, oh my God, Ohio State did it again. They have another first-round receiver on their team who is an absolute dude. So Carnell Tate is going to have a really big game. I think he's going to be Ohio State's leading receiver. And I think at the end of this game, we're going to be saying, wow, what can Carnell Tate do in 2024?
So you said 10 catches, 150 yards?
175.
175. He has 17 catches for 260 yards and a score on the season. So you're saying he's going to have more than half of his season-long production in a game like this. Not really. It's outrageous, but that's what we're doing here. But we've been down this road before, where first-round receiver sits out of a New Year's Six Bowl, and the next first-round receiver just kind of shows up and does his thing. And it sets the table for what ends up being an All-American level career. And you're right. Marvin Harrison Jr. did talk about him like that. So if any of that comes true, Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to tweet out told y'all. I'm just going to be looking for that tweet. Those are our outrageous.
I could tweet that out.
Yeah. It's more valid coming from him, because he told us months ago. You're telling us 24 hours before the game. So that's our outrageous predictions. Ohio State facing Missouri in the Cotton Bowl on December 29th. The kickoff is 7:30 inside Dallas, in Dallas Stadium. In this season, get the text 614-350-3315. Maybe Andrew will send it out there. If Carnell Tate has 10 for 175, listen, he might just send out a text where it reads, it's Andrew, told y'all. But those are our outrageous predictions here on Buckeye Talk.